We're live. Welcome back, all you beautiful people, to that We Got Action podcast, episode 75 coming at y'all. We got a decent little slate lined up today. Good NBA back. We did skip the All-Star break last week, took a little week off, and we are back at better than ever. NBA, I'm gonna talk about kind of with the way the whole, we're getting into the final half of the season, the final third, I should say.
The third that matters.
The last 20, yeah, the part of the season that really actually means something. And I just wanted to took a look at the standings and found a little interesting tidbit that we're going to touch on. Talk about a little would you rather setup, and then just touch on apparently our podcast favorite player, Victor Wembanyama.
Dude.
So touch on that a little bit, and then jump into the NFL offseason. Some off-season talk, I guess. Nothing's really going to happen until we get towards more into the draft.
Yeah, the start of the
just some stuff that's
kind
of happened already. And then baseball's back. So I think we can just kind of push the snowball over the edge and talk a little bit about baseball and just see what's going on. Shout out to the Dodgers. Hey, Ohtani hit a bomb already, so that's pretty cool. NBA. All right. So I took a look at the standings the other day, and I was kind of blown away by when I looked at just how far and above the Celtics are from everybody else in the East. So the second place team in the East is the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have gone on a tear basically in 2024. They're 7.5 games back. That's second place. And then when you go into the Western Conference, the 8th seed Mavericks are only 7 games back from the first and tied for first, second, whatever, however I'm going to say that. T-Wolves and the Thunder tied for first. So I'm just curious, is this kind of like, is Boston still your guys' outright favorite? I know this is a regular season thing. They've kind of struggled come playoff times, especially finishing series and finishing the runs. I'm just curious. Obviously, they have been the most dominant team in the league. They made the biggest impact trades, biggest splashes in the offseason. Just curious, and then after that, we can talk about some true contenders. I mean, I got one that I kind of already said to Victor and showed a little bit. We can talk about a team in the East we think can derail their run. Talk about a team in the West, but are they still the outright favorites?
Man, I think I don't know. I'm kind of pulling back on the I don't know, because I know I initially had them because on paper, well, I mean, they really don't have any flaws. They cover every single area that you need.
Exactly.
All 3 levels, even on defense. Porzingis, I even called it Porzingis being the third option. I don't know if I got a little bit of shit for it, but Porzingis has been the perfect fit.
He's been.
I think defensively, the fit is better.
Perfect.
Yeah,
the fact he got into a culture that kind of is pushing him a little bit, and then obviously staying healthy.
And we knew it. We called that.
And you have good perimeter defense. You got Drew, Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derick White. You got a lot of perimeter defense, and then you can come in there, be the weak side shot blocker, help defender,
do what you've wanted to do your whole career.
Yeah.
I just need to see it in the playoffs. It's cliche for me to say. I just need to see it in the playoffs, because we see, again, like we've always talked about it, always going back to it, we see 2 different brands of basketball in the regular season and the playoffs.
Yeah.
The playoffs always come back down to, and especially with this team, for what it seems like, it's going to be isolation ball, mainly with Jason Tatum. Is he going to actually carry the team? Are they going to actually, is it going to be different this time around with Porzingis, and if they actually go into the playoffs healthy? I don't know. It's hard for me to say. It sucks, but they're the best team right now, far and beyond. Obviously, to me, even though Denver is number 3 in the West, still got to have them in there. I just think it's 100%. Once the playoffs turn around for this team, it's go time. Same thing that we kind of talk about again. But I don't know. I don't trust them yet. I don't trust Joe Mazzulla yet. I don't trust JT and JB yet.
So and I feel like you have every right to question them, like you said. The whole last,
it's a pressure situation now for Porzingis as well. This is going to be where he has to show up. He has to be that third option for them, or even that second option on a great night.
Right.
But it's going to be huge pressure on him, which he's never had in his career so far. It's a big ask. And now if Joe Mazzulla is going to make up for his whatever past mistakes that he's made, is he actually going to learn from his mistakes as well in the playoffs? That's all it is.
I definitely feel like in the East they are the
they're
odds-on favorite. They should theoretically. I mean, we'll talk about in a little bit if we have anyone that we think has a chance to derail them. But in the West is just so deep, and that's kind of what I was putting at the whole, 8 teams separated by 7 games versus one team being 7.5 games ahead of the entire field is just outrageous to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's a lot of teams in the West I could see putting some troubles in Boston, but yeah, man, they're just, that team is so sound.
It's the fact that you only
So
have
sound.
to play the one series
And
against
I don't
that
even
team
think
from the West.
JT been playing that good this year. You know what I'm saying? Like
It hasn't been.
so up
It
and
hasn't
down.
felt like.
There's
Not
more
like
shots-
last year.
yeah,
Not
there's
like
more
last
shots
year
to
where
go
he was
around
like
and stuff
potentially
like that.
MVP
Yeah.
talk. Like this
At the
year,
end
I
of the
feel
day,
like
yeah. I mean, when you're now fourth option is a guy who's used to being a second, third option, right? Your third option has been a first option.
Yeah.
Like they've got so much depth, even just within the 5 guys
The
that I mentioned
starters.
previously. Like
Mhm.
they're all averaging double digits, and I'm
like
not
I don't
talking
feel like
scraping
Jalen Brown's
tens.
played that great. I don't feel like Tatum's played that
Everybody's played good,
great. Yeah.
and
They've
that's
just
what-
the whole team, they're just clicking. And
And-
that for me is a key for them come
Yeah.
playoff time. You can't then go away from
you
this
can't
regular
give you,
season
it
and
can't
try
be
to
give
force
Tatum the ball,
force
get a
JB.
bucket. Can't
It's got to be
Continue
stick
to
with
play
what's
team
work,
ball.
and that's going to be like you said, Danny, on Joe Mazzulla. He's going to
Mhm.
have to coach this team and continue that continuity and that team ball that we've seen a lot.
It's hard because
from
on
them.
paper, and even in the standings and all of their stats, it reads this team is the outright favorite right now. Obviously, the
Mhm.
Timberwolves 40-17, same thing with OKC, but this is a proven commodity. This is proven talent with this team. The other 2 teams, I mean, besides Denver, obviously, we're not counting them out, but Boston with those top 3 teams record-wise, they haven't proven anything to us.
Yeah.
They've proven they can get to the conference finals. The finals, JT obviously played bad, had that injury, but we haven't seen the over the hump.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is a very good chance for them this year to finally push over the hump. I wanted to talk also when looking at the East, obviously it's Celtics and everybody else. What teams are we feeling like have a good chance to derail? Obviously, you're looking at teams like the Cavs and the Bucks and the Knicks are playing real good. No Joel and the 76ers makes that real tough, but another team I'd throw in there would be Miami. I'm just kind of curious what kind of teams do you like in there?
That's my team right there, Miami.
Yeah, come
That's-
on, dude. Let's go.
Out of everybody, I mean, granted, the Knicks
go.
to me, out of every team in the Eastern Conference that made moves, improved the most.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I just don't trust them playing 40 fucking minutes a game.
Yeah. And we'll
Look what's I mean, granted, they've still been playing well. I mean, they're about 4-6 in the last 10, so not great, but they're still holding the line with OG still out, Mitchell Robinson out, Julius Randle still out.
Yeah.
I think what helps the Knicks, and I'll just do a quick tidbit, is just that pace that Brunson plays at.
Yeah.
Keeps the game slower, so those 40 minutes don't feel like 48.
Yeah, you're not running up and down
Yeah,
the court.
It's not like a Pacers playing
Yeah.
40 minutes or the Kings playing 40 minutes. Like Brunson keeps the game at a slower pace, kind of like what you see with Luka. The kind of those guys that control the tempo.
Mhm.
So I think it helps them. But like I'm with you, Dan. I had the Heat all the way.
It's the Heat, man. Like this team they're gonna give you
It's
every
so
roller coaster
stupid.
in the
And-
regular season and look
they
like the
haven't
worst
really
team.
even played
Bro,
close
they
trade
haven't
deadline.
played full, they haven't done anything.
And I don't think they've played a full, like their roster. They haven't had
No.
a fully
I
healthy
think it was
roster
so
since the
smart for them
trade.
to not bite on any trade. Just
Yeah.
get fill the need you needed and just
I will say
Run it
this.
back.
Do you think having made a move for Donovan Mitchell with some sort of Lowry hero package, do you think revisionist history, looking at what Donovan Mitchell's how he's played this season, what he's been able to do with the Cavs, and how they've been able to hide him on defense, and even I think defensively he's probably been his individual best season. The numbers I think reflect that. I think he's at like 2.8 steals a game or something. So he's, or 1.8. Yeah, he's over the last month he's at like 2.5. That's what it is. And it's like the guy's bought in and he's got guys around him who help. And you start to wonder, that Heat team, we've always said they needed that go-to scorer. And I don't know. I mean, we'll obviously see come playoff time, the contributions of, is Tyler Hero gonna be efficient? He got hurt last playoffs, so
right.
hard
And that
to
was
say.
huge for them.
What kind of role Jaquez plays in the playoffs.
It better be big. That's all I'm
It-
saying.
Are we going to
It
see
better
last
be
year's
big.
Cody Martin from the playoffs? right? You know, they've got a lot of they've typically been the playoff risers, but I think honestly so has Donovan Mitchell. So I think I was just thinking about it the other day. I think it's a really interesting what could have been, because I think that team, if they don't give up too much more than Hero and Lowry,
And that's
picks,
where I was going to go at it.
then I think they would be better than this Cavs team right now. I think I wouldn't think they'd be where the Celtics are, but I think they'd be putting them, making them sweat a little bit.
I think they beat the Cavs personally, but
yeah,
I mean the Cavs would be my next team to derail anybody.
Yeah, no,
They're also pretty sound.
Honestly, I don't think so.
But they haven't proven anything either.
I don't think that about the Cavaliers, to be honest with you.
I like Miami for me. I just like the fact that they've got like 5-6 guys that can play make. Like anyone can touch the ball up the court. Anyone can make plays. They've got 2 guys that can easily shoot 50-60% from 3 in a playoff series.
Yeah.
Bam's proven last year that he can be a number 1 guy and put up big games and bang with Jokic and do other things against Joel. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and we know what Jimmy is in the playoffs.
Right. And we've seen Jimmy keeping Tyler Heroes healthy. You added Jaquez. You've got other young guys, Caleb or Cody Martin. Which Martin they got?
That is
Caleb. It is Caleb. That's what I thought.
Caleb.
Goddamn twins.
Yes,
I just
like them.
To me, the only other team, I mean, the only other team that we can for sure say, and I can positively say that without a doubt and a lot of confidence, Joel Embiid is healthy and this team is healthy, the 76ers, they can easily beat the Boston Celtics in my opinion.
Buddy Hield acquisition,
they easily
so
can.
Big for them.
It is.
Because it's the first time they've had a truly reliable shooter outside
Sniper.
of Maxey. And even then,
even when they had JJ, I'll say.
Yeah. And you're looking at, I mean, Buddy Hield's, I mean, it goes under the radar, but he's the second best shooter of our time. He could go. Him and Clay are neck and neck there.
And Dame. Well, Dame.
I think
efficiency wise,
I think Dame
his range,
and the clutch moments and things. Right.
His efficiency's trash. I'm pretty sure he's only hit over 40.
His clutch efficiency is also 26%. He's actually not that Anyway, beyond that.
I mean, I've been on the Dame.
I think it's Steph. Steph up here, and then you got Buddy and Clay. And then everybody else. In terms of just being pure shooters, and you're getting a guy like that where you now cannot even sag off that type of guy, right? You can sag off of Kelly Oubre, you can sag off of Furkan Korkmaz, Niang.
Christmas.
You can't sag off.
Hey, but them three go crazy. Them three will give you at least one of them will give you 20 a game
in Chicago.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I can tell you right now, freaking one of those 3 is popping for 20 in a come playoff.
But if you think about it, that's the only other team, in my opinion, with a full surrounding cast healthy. The Heat, I never count them out in the playoffs. And I don't care where they're seated at. They can be the damn 10
They
seed
don't
again.
give a
They
fuck.
can be in the play.
They don't care.
Exactly. But I think the Heat, if they were to get Donovan Mitchell, I think it would have been a mistake, in my opinion.
I agree.
The Terry Rozier, especially for having him under control for 2 more years, in my opinion, it's a little bit of a lesser Donovan Mitchell and what he can really do, and he can go off for 30.
I think that's a lot lesser than
right. But at the same time, then you have to worry about
for the player that you're getting. Yeah,
you have to. I just feel like I get what you're saying, like from just a straight up. Who's the best
player?
Who's the better player?
I get it.
Looking at the performances from these guards that they've been running, Hero 1 game's shooting 31%. 1 game he goes off. Next game he's hurt. He has not been reliable or consistent, right? Terry Rozier since the trade has also was not consistent and then got hurt. So Mitchell, obviously injuries or whatever, things can happen.
They're better when those guys are hurt. They just bring in some bums.
Yeah,
put up 30.
Well, I think that is part of it. They just give the bums come play hard, and then Bam and Jimmy do what they do. But I don't know. I was just thinking, like the other day, I legit think that team could have been. Like
they would have been
very dominant.
That would have been very scary.
Very dominant.
I think the ability to have both Tyler and Duncan or somebody else, like I just think it's so perfect, the mix they have right now. I just think that having D Mitch needing so many shots, it just also feels like I also don't feel like Jimmy plays well with I feel like he was better with a big.
Yeah.
And to me, Jimmy,
when he had Cat,
Jimmy to me too always got to be To me, Jimmy's got to be the alpha.
He got to touch the ball. Like
He
at
had like
least
that's
every other
that's where he's
possession.
most yeah, he has to at least initiate or touch it. If Mitchell was there, I just
There'd
don't
be a
think
lot of series where Jimmy's just sitting in the corner, and I feel like that's not it. And like, granted, he does that when he's taking his on-court rest, but like,
yeah, it just
I don't
wouldn't. But if we're talking about teams, it's got to be a healthy Philly and it's got to be a healthy Miami team. New York, I
does
just
Joe
don't
have a
trust.
timeline?
It was. I mean,
First
there were
I think he's
round
got
or
another
something?
month.
There were two different reported timelines. One was the 6 to 8 week timeline, which I believe
Yeah.
we are 3 weeks into, and one was indefinite.
That's the one I heard.
Yeah.
I had heard there wasn't much.
So, and I mean, 6 to 8 it's one of those where it's long enough where they go, yeah, we're not really seeing the improvement where we wanted, so he'll be out for the foreseeable future. So, yeah.
Interesting.
man.
It might also be like, do you want him to play on half a knee? And
No, he's already done that. He did that 2 years ago.
And look where he's at now. He needs to focus on recovering once.
Agreed. Give me a team in the East or the West.
I'm
Just
gonna
brief.
go with the.
I know who you should go with.
I actually have.
Back your wording. You always be talking
I
this
know.
team up.
There was a team, but this is post deadline, and I talked about them post deadline when we did our last episode. But the moves the Mavs made, the defense has been so good. PJ has not hit his shots since coming over, and they've won all but one of their games since the deadline. So, and I think before last game they were the number one defense post deadline. So the moves they made clearly worked and solved a lot of their issues. Now, obviously, I do think whenever there are trades, there is a lot of times there's a bit of a little honeymoon phase.
Mhm.
So with like Grant Williams in Charlotte, he was playing incredibly for 4 games, and then he went back to being Grant Williams. So you do typically have these honeymoon phases, but the team looks balanced for the first time since Luka's been in Dallas. And Luka is good enough to win series on his own. We've seen it before. So now you're giving him a team that can play defense on his own. You have a team that can actually play defense. A guy who's
looking great.
Yeah,
too, man.
Kyrie, a guy to take the load off.
He looks
him.
incredible.
Like that team is
like he's
dangerous.
being efficient and playmaking at this point.
Yeah,
the last month
they haven't really had a third guy.
They don't really need it.
Exactly.
Luka's 1 and 3.
They just need one.
2.
If they get one contributor a night that steps up a little bit. Tim's been terrible.
He's terrible.
Imagine
him and PJ start knocking down shots.
Yeah, exactly.
Who are you supposed to guard? Then you gotta actually go one-on-one on Luka.
Yeah, and then you're gonna have that pick and roll with Lively or Gafford or Kleba because
both are solid.
Yeah, and then Kleba, they still somehow give Kleba minutes. They're all playing like 14 to 20.
Still somehow have him under contract.
Understand.
Isn't Dwight still there?
Danny, give me some. Give me some.
Team in the West. So are we just talking about to get? Are we just talking about to get out of the
Just
West?
a team, somebody that could beat Boston. Let's say Boston gets there.
I think Denver's a given, obviously, but it's tough. You know what, man? I'm gonna go for the wild card here. I'm gonna say OKC.
Yeah, you stole both of my answers, you bum.
Yeah, I think. I mean, Dallas was my first choice. Obviously, the Nuggets. And yeah, I just, I honestly want to put OKC over Minnesota because, yeah, you have the defense, but in Minnesota, but in OKC, it feels like to me that they can actually do both for the most part. And you just, and granted, when you're comparing Anthony Edwards and SGA, they're both killers, but I think SGA is
more consistent.
SGA to me is more on that Luka-esque level of like, he'll take over a game completely and it's his game, it's his pace. That's the way I feel. I don't feel Anthony Edwards can do that just yet.
Yes, he can.
But I like Shea. I like Shea better.
He just doesn't do it at the consistency.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like he just which is so strange for somebody that is so,
easily right now he can be averaging
cocky.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
he
saying?
can be averaging 30 a game right now.
He will literally impose his will for the full 35, 40 minutes he's on the court.
That's what I'm saying.
Like Ant's just like, I'll let Cat shoot.
Yeah.
If I'm Ant, I mean, I know we talked about this probably in
that's what I'm saying.
Previous episode, but
I also think that Timberwolves team, like they're both young teams, but the Thunder team shows a level of maturity.
Strange.
I feel a lot more than that Timberwolves team. I mean, we saw it in Cat's 60-point game. They literally were just giving them the ball and said, watching them host it.
Literally.
Yeah.
Like they literally lost a game because they weren't playing basketball.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
got some kill. I'm telling you, that Thunder's team. I also like the Thunder. I feel like they're gonna get into the playoffs, regardless of if they're 1, 2, 3, 4, wherever the fuck. It doesn't matter. I
Yeah.
just think they're gonna be playing like they ain't got nothing to lose because I feel like they shouldn't be there already. I
Mhm.
mean, I know they think they should be there, like but like in terms of like where their timeline is, like they might be a year ahead
Mhm.
because he just got Chet back. J-Dub's only in his
Well, I was
second
gonna
year.
say
we didn't
Jalen
expect a
Williams,
40-17 record
Right,
at this
exactly.
point.
Yeah,
We
but
expected
yeah,
them to be good, but not
Mhm.
40-17.
Yeah,
Right.
we all picked them to be probably one of the biggest risers, but
Mhm.
not
The best
Good.
team in the East.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's where they might get into the playoffs and play like they got none to lose and knock some teams off.
Yeah. I want
I
to
would
also
say so,
shout out
bro.
Isaac. I mentioned this to you and I forgot to say it last time. Because when we were doing our pre-draft stuff before the draft, he was talking about this young man, Jalen Williams, that was a pick he really liked.
Oh, last year?
Yeah.
Or 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Yep. He was talking about a pick he
Or
really
technically
liked.
last year.
And here we are now, and the dude,
He's a fucking
the second
baller.
best player.
That dude is a baller.
Sending Giddey to the bench. He's the secondary playmaker. He's the secondary scorer. He's the primary defender.
I was about to say,
Like,
but how many games have him and SGA both gone for like 30,
Bro.
Yeah,
35?
yeah, like 25 apiece, 30 and 25, 30 and 20. Like there, and he's consistent too. His game is, I mean, I know he's spent more years in college. I'm pretty sure. So like that always does typically show a little bit.
Yeah, then the
Then they see like a Jaquez, right? They have a level of
Jaquez was there 4 years.
yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah.
When you
I see what
spend
you're
some
saying.
extra years, you have that like level of maturity where you can kind of step in right away. But he not only
him.
stepped in,
I love him so much.
he not only stepped in right away, he also then took a huge leap.
Yeah.
And then, that leap that we typically expect from younger players.
He's got so much like kind of Paulo Banchero-esque kind of game too.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
But like at a discount.
they have this weird
you
like
didn't have to draft him number 1.
they have this weird guard forward like hybrid play. It's like
It's kind of old
reminiscent.
school, like
It's
90s
reminiscent of a
that kind of
Paul
mid-range.
George, but without the same like fluidity, I guess,
Yeah.
in a way. Is how I
I
see
think
it.
Paulo's
They're also a bit.
Paulo's pretty fluid.
I don't know about
Yeah.
see that little game winner. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
not.
it was a little.
they said it-
He also said he
little
had the
travel.
flu. He had the flu.
They said it was clean, and I'm like, I read the review, what they described it as. I watched it, I'm like,
They
nah.
said he had the flu.
Like,
Come on. They said he had the flu. All right. So we got I think that's pretty fair. Mavericks for sure. Danny, me and you are pretty spot on. We both had the Thunder. Obviously the Nuggets defending
Yeah.
champions. They're still only a game and a half out of the West. But yeah, it's gonna be exciting to see, man. Like Vitor said before we got into the segment, this is where the season really gets going.
Mhm.
Post All-Star break is where things get firing. Players start playing games that matter, and you can see the level of the game really start to amp up. So it's gonna be exciting the next couple of weeks to be constantly talking ball here. But let's go into a Celtics player. Talk about Derick White. Obviously, Vitor would probably argue for OG Anunoby. I think most people would agree with him. But Derick White, arguably the best defensive guard in the league.
I mean, OG slots in as a forward. So
I gotta agree. Small forward, yeah. I got a list of would you rather's. And I'm just curious at this current point of Derick White, still probably I don't even know if you call him an option,
he's a role player, but
he's the number 1 defender.
yeah,
Which is where it's,
Stats.
you know what I'm
definitely.
saying? Like in terms of like offensive option, he can be a 2 or a 3
I mean,
on a nightly
we've
basis.
seen him
We've seen him be
especially
able-
that stretch last season where everyone was out for a couple of games. Dude was
He had
averaging like 30 and 10,
Bro, he was going wild.
30 and 10 with like 3 steals, 2 blocks.
And
was
now it
gross.
feels like he's just give me whoever the number 1 is, and he's trying to guard that.
yeah,
guy.
I'm giving him health for 48.
So I'll just made a fun list of would you rather's. So we'll start off with maybe somebody who was Derick White maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. Would you rather have Derick White? This is right now. Derick White or Drew Holiday?
Oh, Derick White.
Derick White.
I still think Drew's a better perimeter defender, like in terms of just straight up perimeter defense. But I think the other things that Derick- but I think-
lost a step.
I think what Derick White does in terms of being able to be a shot blocker,
He's huge, 6'6".
yeah,
Huge.
he's bigger. He's a more consistent shooter nowadays. So I think I still give Drew the edge in terms of just on ball defense, but I think everything else swings Derick White's way.
Next one is Would you rather have Derick White or DeJounte Murray?
Oh,
Derek White.
Good man.
I love DeJounte's game, but
Good man,
he's
good.
just not. He doesn't have the mentality.
For me, DeJounte is like
It's the
empty stats.
I don't really truly believe in empty stats. I think there are very few
but empty
players.
stats that don't lead to winning to me are fairly empty stats.
I think DeJounte is a super talented player. He's a good defender when he's focused. He's a great defender when he's focused. But I think he doesn't have that like mental.
Okay, but if you got a
lock-in
starting
to be a
five,
dog.
if you have a starting five,
yeah. It just also depends on the role in the team, right? If you're telling me if you're telling me as the second guy, probably want DeJounte.
we were just on the pod talking about the trades for him and how he's not really anyone that you want leading your team.
Yeah.
But he's also not really good enough, or like he's too good to be a 2, but not good enough to be a 1.
Yeah, it's what happens when you
The
play a point
defense
guard
isn't
too.
on par with what Derick White gives you. I would rather have somebody that's a number 1 or 2 best D and 3 kind of guy in the league.
Mhm.
No, I'd go Derick White, but it is a little tough.
It is.
I think if you're talking ceiling, you obviously have DeJounte Murray's ceiling, but we're now 5-6 years into his 5 years into his career.
It feels like he took a big leap 2 years ago and then kind of stayed there.
All right.
Yeah.
Your boy. Would you rather have Derick White or OG Anunoby?
Oh, I love me some OG.
Very
Yeah, I'd
similar
rather-
players.
I think the one thing you get with Derick White is you get more versatility on offense. But I mean, OG is
Similar motors.
You got
both guys are
OG
built.
will play 48 a game. guard the
Derick
best
White would,
player.
He just doesn't get the chance.
Well, yeah, they're up by 30 in the fourth quarter. He gets the rest.
Or down by 30 and they give up in the second.
But I mean, I'm very biased. I love me some OG, like absolutely love.
Was this 3-4 years in a row on your fantasy team?
Something like that. I think it's 3 now. No, man, but it's just and it's one of those things, right? You read about the defense, but then you go watch games, and he legitimately gives guys hell.
Yeah,
like
Mhm.
guys
He's
look
a specimen
like
athlete.
I've seen guys look like they want to go home. They're just annoyed, and it's so impressive. And you get that with being the premier corner 3-point shooter in the league. He's like PJ Tucker, but good.
But
Yeah.
he's like PJ Tucker. If PJ Tucker had better genes. Danny, you go OG or?
Yeah, I'm gonna go OG
Yeah,
as well.
I would agree. I think this is the first one I'm taking.
I think
OG.
I think OG got another level to him that's yet to be
I
seen.
agree, but I also think I don't think, and this is where I kind of go. I don't think if you ask OG to be your 1 or 2 and run an offense, he can't do what Derick White can do.
No, not at all.
And that's where I think.
And that's where he's.
I don't
that's
think
where he needs to understand.
I don't think
himself when he's
Derick
asking
White
for
is
money.
that far below OG defensively.
Mm.
Whereas I feel like 3-point shooting, I also think they're pretty similar. I mean, obviously efficiency wise, OG's up there.
Mhm.
But I just think what Derick White can do when called upon to lead a second unit.
Yeah, that's exactly what I started with.
Like
Derick
OG
White's way
will
more
be a
versatile
role
on
player
offense. Yeah,
no matter what.
yeah. If you're like, hey,
Any team,
if
he'll be a
you're like,
role
hey, you
player.
have a star point guard and a star center, who do you want as your third guy? You're taking OG.
Yeah.
But you're like,
Easily.
hey, you have
You
a
can
team.
plug Derick White into so many different
Yeah,
scenarios, and he can be anything. I feel like it's a very, very versatile.
the 3 and D is just so valuable in this NBA too, especially one that can guard legit 1 through 5.
Yeah, that one.
There's
to
not
me is
many people who
That
can
one
do
to me
that.
is a coin flip because those in my
They
opinion,
serve
are-
different roles, and they're both honestly. If you're building a championship winning team,
you
they're
want 'em
both on
fucking
your team.
both, bro.
They're on your team.
Hey, that team's winning the chip if you got them both. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Next one is: would you rather have Terry Rozier?
Mm,
Hmm.
okay.
2 years ago, I might have gone Terry.
Derick White, Terry
But-
Rozier.
I think
Let's not forget what Terry was tearing him up
no for me
on Charlotte.
as a former Terry Rozier fantasy owner myself. It's the consistency, right? With Derick White, you're gonna have some rough games, but when you're 4th, 5th option, right, that happens, right? When your shot, you don't really. It's harder to get into rhythm when your shots don't, come like that.
Yeah.
But for Rozier, I just think you just mentioned empty stats. I don't love the phrase, but he's been a guy that, aside from his time in Boston, couldn't really contribute to winning.
Yeah,
much.
He was like a third.
So yeah,
second,
he was the
third
third option behind Tatum, JB. So
And didn't they have IT 1 year there?
I think so.
I think
Or
it was
did he
IT's
come in-
last year.
Or
When?
did he
With
come
Terry
in
Rozier?
for?
Yeah, he was
IT,
yeah.
Terry,
They had him
and a
for
young
2
Tatum, or a
yeah.
young Brown and a young Tatum. First 2 years
Yeah.
with them too.
And
when they were
Tatum had
really
big
young.
hair and no beard, or little beard. Now he has little hair, big beard.
What you got, Danny?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go Derick White as well. I just think of looking more at the effectiveness of a game and what they can actually do. Like you said, if Terry's shot isn't really falling, he's not really doing the other things that don't
Mhm.
show up in the box score. Whereas
Well,
Derek
I think
White
he's a
does that.
good defender. I don't
Yeah,
think
I
like
think
his
he's good. He's not a
playmaking, but
he's not
he's
a
not
like
yeah,
he's a
elite.
very rare person who can actually like create his own shot, but is actually very underrated on defense when he's trying, like we've seen in the Boston days, and hopefully like we'll see in Miami Heat uniform when he does get healthy. But Derek White can be having like a 3-point, 3 rebound, 2 blocks, 2 steals, maybe a plus like 15 on the floor that affects the game much
Oh,
more.
yeah.
than
he'll score
Terry's 20
3, 6
points.
points, and he'll
Yeah.
be in talk for
And
player
the,
of the
and
game.
the, and that's the thing too. Like in the fourth quarter, all of a sudden knocks down maybe 2, 3, 4 threes or something like that. Timely buckets or anything like that. A timely stop. That just shows up more. So
Mhm.
even though I know Terry is the better basketball player, I'm gonna go with Derek White as the better overall player that I would have on my team.
Okay, would you rather have Derek White or James Harden?
Ooh,
James been balling out
he
there.
has. No, and again, it's tough when you compare guys who are in completely different roles and styles, because it's like,
But most of these are all guards.
yeah, but if you're telling
Either
me,
two guards or
but they
small
don't do the same thing. They play the same position, but they're not the same thing.
But there's nobody in the league that does what Derek White does.
Yeah,
which
there's
is
also
kind of why it's hard.
there's not many
and
guys.
intriguing.
Yeah, like
I just, you know what I'm saying?
'Cause,
I'm
like,
it's
yeah.
curious to see like who would you rather have on a team. Understandably, like, assuming you have at least one star, most teams
Yeah.
in the league have a star. That one's tough. I know you're fighting demons right now, Dan. Don't nobody want to say James Harden in this scenario, but like he's been playing really good with the Clippers, man. Okay, yeah, you're right. The Wizards do not have a superstar, or even maybe a star.
Sure,
I mean, I'm still thinking, to be honest with you. I really, really am.
This is a tough one, man.
Yeah. Harden's annoying too, because he'll shoot 60% with 6 threes for a 28-9 game. Finish
Like
with
that's the thing. We talk about Derek White
block.
not having any good games and then doing other things on the stat sheet, whereas James Harden can like disappear but still have like 7, 8 assists with like 7, 8 rebounds or something like that.
Yeah, and I mean, again, he's been active on the defensive end
It's
this
really
year.
right, and then it's also easy. I feel like it's easier to even with PG and Kawhi, like on the same team.
Mm-hmm.
Like then you really have to do less on defense, and it's easier to just play your own game on defense. Like it's so hard to isolate him. But
Yeah, it's like
you
no
said,
one-
he's been
no one
which has
refers
kind
to-
of been a last year or two.
Yeah, no one like thinking back to the Houston days, right? Think
that
about
was
how
a liability.
Yeah, people talked about James
Even
Harden
in
defenses
Brooklyn.
and the bottom 2 in the league type of guy.
Yeah.
Now guys are actually giving him some credit. Obviously, when you're out there playing 38 a game, scoring 55, it's not easy to put all your energy into defense.
Nobody
But
gave a shit about that. Fuck Houston, James. That's a tough one. I'm curious.
I still haven't decided yet.
That bitch is hard.
I'm gonna go James Harden.
Let's go. That's crazy.
I just think because like people still give him like attention. Like to whereas if he were to like obviously double cross somebody over, get into the paint, like the paint's collapsing. With Derek White, I don't think you're necessarily getting that on a consistent basis like you are getting with a James Harden. So I think that's a little bit more appealing to me.
So his overall offensive game outweighing
Yeah.
the overall game from Derick White. Interesting.
Yeah, I think so.
You go James too.
I think you look at how good
he
this
still has
Clippers
enough
team
offensively.
has been.
I think that's a huge art, and that's kind of why I feel like throwing him in here is so big because of what he's been able to do post trade with the Clippers and kind of transform them offensively into something that looked kind of clunky without him and now has some fluidity with him.
Yeah.
It's very impressive.
Yeah.
All right, I like those answers. Next one, Derek White or Fred VanVleet. I did this for you.
Derek White.
Derek White.
What about Raptors, Fred? Is that even close?
No.
Derek White.
I kind of agree.
Can't stand that guy.
Derek White or Desmond Bane?
Ooh.
Obviously, recency effect. Desmond Bane's been injured, and He was pretty solid though to start the year.
He
When
was averaging, I think, like 24, 5 and 5 before going down or something close to that.
the good one. That's a solid defender too. Dynamite shooter.
I'll go with Desmond Bain.
I will go with Des.
I agree. I think Desmond Bain is
I'll go
kind
with
of
that.
a. I don't know if he's as. I don't think he's as good as defending as Derick White,
No,
but I just think. I think he's a solid all-around player.
Yeah.
He's proven he can be a number
Well, he
one.
came
He's
in
proven
as
he
a
can play
defensive
make. He's
guard.
proven he can be
Yeah,
a
he
two.
came in as a defensive guard and then just started.
It's now
He
he's got a pretty solid.
his
I
shot
like his
came
game.
on and then boom.
I didn't like him as much, but with how much you always talked about him, I kind of and then
With-
some of
and
their
it-
playoff
with
runs.
this,
won
it's
me a
just the
fantasy season.
points. With this,
I
it's
picked
just
him
the
up
points
late,
is what
like
makes the
January.
difference. The points
Mhm.
is what makes the difference, I think, in this player comparison on the offensive side of the ball. Because
Yeah, he
Desmond
can go
Bain can
for-
do Desmond Bain can do just enough, but like
I think he
still
can do
have like
pretty
30
much
points.
everything that Derick White can do. Maybe not to that same
Oh,
ability,
yeah,
but
you don't
yeah,
have that wingspan.
that 30, that 30, 35, he can go for
Big
a few
old
games in a
boy.
row.
Built-
Hey, I was about to say he'll body your ass though.
You gotta move his feet quick.
this
so them
one-
arms ain't.
This one's kind of dumb, but Derick White or Emmanuel Quickly.
No. Take Derick White. I do like the potential I've seen.
I
Quickly,
like
though.
what I've seen since from the Raptors.
And defensively, I will say quickly is a very underrated guard. I had seen Knicks fans talking about this, and I never really noticed him for his defense. Obviously, he's
Well,
small.
you never really noticed him at all in New York.
Yeah, he's small, but he's actually a solid defender
I
for a
feel
guy
like he's
his
been
size.
solid since he's got his minutes.
It's just the thing is that he just has like that. To me, I just think he has a high motor that we've never really
Mhm.
seen because when you're playing in Tom Thibodeau's system, especially if you're a bench player, for you to actually stay on the court a little bit, but for him it was 15 to 20 minutes. You got to score.
Yeah,
That's the difference.
yeah, and if he got
Because you
hot,
know
then
you're
he
not
stayed-
staying
then he got
out.
to play.
Yeah,
And
you know
we've
you're not
seen-
staying out there for anything else. You're staying out there because you can score, and then we're taking you back out, and then we're putting our defensive guys.
And he's so much more than just scoring. He's seen you. He can play
Correct.
make for 7, 8, 9 assists a game.
Yep.
We've seen, like Vitor was saying, the defense is there.
Mhm.
He's lanky. I think he's slithery enough to have some dribble penetration and kick it out to other guys. I like it. I don't know if he's quite Derick White level. It's an all around game. I think I would still rather have a Derick White in my lineup, but I don't know. I thought that was an interesting one. I like that you kind of went a little more in depth on that, Dan. Are you still? Who are you taking?
No, I'm still taking Derick White
Derick White.
at this point. Maybe I think
I was just saying, another
I
year?
think quickly he's prime for a jump. So
Especially after this trade, get a whole offseason acclimated
Yeah.
with these guys. That could be interesting. Another one of somebody who just took a recent jump, also plays 2 guard. Would you rather have Derick White or Kobe White? Kobe been balling.
he has.
Hey, best value in the league right now.
No, the fact we only got him with 3 years sad though.
It's so sad. He got restructured like a motherfucker.
Nah, they don't do that in the NBA. There's no restructure.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He can extend.
Yeah, he extended for cheap though.
No, he won't. He'll get whatever gives him the best.
I think he's
contract.
going somewhere else after this deal.
No, he'll resign because we can give him the most money.
I'm gonna go with Kobe White.
Recency bias.
Kobe
No,
White.
I think Kobe again. It's that similar fact. Like again,
He's
It's-
not a better player than Derick White.
he's a better offense player.
Well, yeah. I think I'm telling you, bro. It's only because Derick White is on the Celtics.
Oh yeah, if he got to burn as like the second or third guy,
He would be one of the best
starting
two-way players in the game if he was on like
Oh yeah,
the Wizards or the Trailblazers. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I think he'd be one of the best two-way players in the game. What do you mean, wow?
I said well.
Oh, I thought you said wow. I was like, wow, what?
Not hard to shine.
You
on
just said the
anything that
Wizards
is
don't
just-
got a star. Go get your star.
And the thing is, too, I don't even know if it's recency bias, but I just like, I guess motor is my favorite word today. I just like the motor that Kobe White's showing when he
Bro, the
actually
grit.
has,
The,
That's what-
the desire to win.
because
the
I think,
fucking-
because I think more so, I think Kobe White now, with being the primary second option, and sometimes even the number one
he
option.
should be the
for-
fucking. The amount of times I watch a fucking Bulls, a close game in the fourth quarter,
DeMar
and I have to
shoots
watch
us out of
DeMar
there.
shoot some stupid shit.
Oh,
I'm like,
when
run a
Kobe
fucking
White
play
is
for
the, when Kobe White's the hot guy.
has
when he's
30
the
that
hot guy.
game. He'll have 30 and DeMar will have 14 and they'll run an ISO for DeMar with the game on the line. I'm like, get the fuck out of the way, run a low play, Set a
Mhm.
screen at the top of the key, something to get Kobe even a half decent look. I want that over. Oh God, sorry.
Yeah,
Go
it's
ahead.
horrible, but
I'm sorry.
it's
Stupid.
still the same thing. But no, I just think more so because I think Kobe White as more. I will say I believe he personally has more motor now and more grit than
I
Derick
agree.
White, which makes up, in my opinion. Again, we could take the scoring out because sometimes they'll both have bad games, but Derick White's motor and grit, and more so coming
I
into his
think his
own, is the
motor
difference
is the
for me.
same. I think his motor is the same. I think Derek White is very level-headed,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
calm, never gets too low, never gets too high.
But
Where
Derek White, or I'm
Kobe
sorry,
has
Kobe
shown
White
this year
needs
he
to
can
show.
get-
Kobe White needs to do that in order
Yeah.
to really be
right,
fully.
right. When he's getting,
Yeah.
when he's starting to get fired up,
It's hard in these
yelling at
debates
his
too,
bench that
because you see what the step Kobe took, and you know there's still more room.
there is
right,
it's
and
scary.
you can see that, right? Like he's at around 20 on the season. I think since, if you take out the first month or two, he's at like 22 or something, 23. So like this is a guy who has the potential to really be a 25-7 type of guy, 26-7 type of guy. Like, so that it's hard to ignore that when you do these types of comparisons. That's always weighing in the back of your mind. Like, if you're telling me they're going to sign a 1-year deal on a quest to win a championship, I'm probably taking Derick White. If they're like, hey, you're getting them on a 5-year deal, give me Kobe every time.
Yeah.
Right. So, and that's why that's why I was saying with the roles and kind of thing. There's so much that goes into this on a basketball
there's
team.
an argument to take Kobe though. For sure.
There definitely is an argument.
I'd say so. Yeah.
All right, that's all I got. That was my last one. I wanted to finish it with the
We haven't done one of these in a
Chicago
while.
boy.
Felt good.
No, I got another little segment. You like that? I threw two in there tonight. Last one, just a shout out. Was it Friday? I think it was.
Wait, I want to preface this. So I had
Friday.
I had this
The Lakers,
conversation.
Spurs Lakers.
Yeah.
I had this conversation with my coworker.
Spurs lost.
And I was hyping up Wemby, and I was like, man, this guy is going to be the first guy to get a 5x5 in a long time. I was like, he's going to be the one to do it. And then I had said this though a week before he had missed it by the one assist.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back to my coworker. I'm like, dude, I told you he's doing it soon. But I'm thinking, within the next season or two, bro comes back next day and just drops it like it's nothing.
Bro, it was 31 minutes.
Dude, he's doing stuff we haven't seen since David
Over
Robinson.
the last 10 games, he's almost averaging a 5x5.
Dude,
his steals is 2.
He single-handedly lost me the steals category in playing against him in 2 games. Like, I was up almost double digits. But no, he's been insane, and like the impact he has is crazy. Now he's playing a little bit more minutes. The team's already looking a tad more competitive. I'm not going to say they're looking any competitive,
winning, but
they look like they have a little bit of fight in them here and there. But earlier, it was just getting throttled every time.
Yeah.
17 minutes in, he's got 8.6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks, and 1 steal.
It's the fact that he's not just scoring and rebounding
everything.
and blocking. He's literally doing everything.
Over the last 2 weeks. So these are the games around the All-Star break that really, he also had a 10-block game in this span, averaging 24, 11, 5 assists, 3 steals, 5.5 blocks, 2 threes on 54% shooting.
So my question is, I feel like he should have more consideration for Depoy.
Yeah. I think what's weighing against him is the fact his team is garbage.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to imagine what this team would look like if he wasn't there blocking 5 shots a game and altering another 10, right? Like, I know you can argue that for Rudy, but like, I don't know.
It's not fun.
It's also like, I don't know. It doesn't, when you watch the Timberwolves, it's not just Rudy. Like, there's a very clear system in place that works in that team.
Right. They definitely
and the players have bought
their
in.
flaws from last year,
Yeah,
for sure.
The players have bought into playing defense.
Yeah.
So like, I don't notice as much Gobert's individual presence as I did when he was in Utah. Whereas it feels like the only way the Spurs can get a stop is if the guy's missing an open shot or if Wemby's blocking it or affecting the shot. So he's been climbing already. Like, he went from like 4th or 5th in the rankings
6th when I
like
last,
a month
and
ago.
now he's like 3rd or 4th.
He's second.
Is he second?
He's second, but it's minus betting odds. It's minus 800 for Rudy, plus 1300 for Wemby. So
Yeah, I'm just saying.
someone want to go hammer that.
I'm just saying.
This is not gambling advice, but
Yeah, I thought that was crazy. That 5x5, when I saw that, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
what the fuck? And then they lose the game, of course, but he's actually dominated the Lakers in the few games they've played. Because I think earlier in the season he put up like 40 on him, and then he puts like a
He's
27.5x5 on him. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's slide into NFL again. NBA heating up. A lot to talk about in the next 2 months leading into the playoffs. Very exciting. NFL touching on some running backs who have yet to sign deals or to even really feel like much has been said about them.
I've been thinking about one of these names a lot lately.
Interesting. Talking about the same guys we talked about last year, pretty much.
Yeah.
2 of them getting tagged. One of them, or no,
Mhm.
one getting tagged. Saquon signed the 1 year, 12 mil stupid deal.
Yeah.
No, he still got tagged, but they signed a different deal.
Oh, did
He
they?
didn't sign
Okay.
his tag.
Oh, you're right. You're right. And then Tony Pollard, Saquon, Josh Jacobs. Those are the guys we're talking about.
Yeah.
All of them are set to be free agents. Curious about what you guys think as potential landing spots or best landing spots.
Sure, who are we starting with here?
Where we went.
Saquon to the Chargers.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's the one I've been thinking about for a while. All the talk about establishing a run game in LA.
So Saquon
Right.
and Eckler then?
Well, because at the end of the day, Eckler's not a runner. He doesn't run the ball like that. And Saquon does both.
Yeah.
Right.
So what, you
And with
just-
how much Eckler wants to be paid as well, it's not
Yeah.
worth it for his
If they're
production
able
whatsoever.
to dump him without taking too much of a cap hit, if they're able to trade him or however,
well, at that point, if you sign him, I think you would just cut Eckler.
I mean, is he under contract? What's his deal? Because
I think I want to say he has 1 year left. He was looking for an extension. I want to say 1 year at most.
It's the first thing when you search.
For me, I think Tony Pollard should resign personally.
Yeah.
I think
I
that's
really
the best spot for him.
I don't think there's
Cowboys-
really any fit for him to really go. And really, I don't think there's really a team that he fits with.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the teams now.
No, he's
I
a
think,
free agent.
Oh, he's actually a free agent.
Yeah.
I also thought he had 1 more year.
Yeah. But I think with Tony Pollard is that I think the teams that are looking for a running back that need a running back are looking for more of a power back or more of a 3-down back. For example, the Chargers need that, but Saquon can actually do both when they need him to do the latter part, which pass catching. Tony Pollard just fits
Check
best,
down
right?
Herbo would be nuts.
That's gonna be Saquon with Blake Corum backing him up.
Hey.
That
Josh
way you
Jacobs,
don't-
though,
the
Josh
cheap
Jacobs to
backup?
me though needs to go back to the Raiders, in my opinion. I think now that's where he fits. And now with actually a full offseason with Antonio Pearson, what the expectations actually are
I do
game
like
plan
the whole
wise.
thing that he's got set up going over there. So
Yeah, I think a lot of the Raiders in general, I think
like I feel like even if but the way that I feel like Pierce is setting things up, like even if Josh Jacobs is like questioning coming back, I feel like he don't even want him. Like if you're not in,
yeah.
you know what I'm
Well,
saying? Type
you
shit.
read the reports, right? That if they went in a different direction, Max Crosby would request a trade, right?
Yeah.
That's what they want to see from this type of
Yeah,
from these
like
guys.
if you're not
So-
fully bought in, like if Josh Jacobs even like feel like looking at other teams, it's like, all right, dude, fuck you. Like,
Yep.
that's what I feel. That's the vibe I get from Pierce.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
unfortunately, it's not his final decision to make.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Mark Davis, which
That might be worse.
that's
Yeah.
definitely worse.
I don't really know. I'm trying to think. There was something I saw, and I can't remember. Somewhere to the Panthers. Was it? I was either Jacobs or Saquon to the Panthers, and I thought that'd be a fun fit.
I
So
saw
they have no
I saw
line.
Saquon to Houston
guess-
was a possibility.
I did see
They've
that.
they've
One.
been mocking any
Yeah.
prime free agent or trade candidate to Houston.
Yeah.
Dude, fucking hell! It was Houston. I think
Yeah.
it was Jacobs to the Panthers and Saquon to Houston.
On
is
to
the one.
Houston.
I saw a Uke
Yeah.
mock to Houston, and I just
Holy
thought about it for a little bit, and I was
Yeah.
terrified.
And especially with that receiving core already, Dalton Schultz fully healthy, and then Saquon as the back.
Dalton
Bro,
Schultz
who
and
was
his
it? Damian Pearson. Who took that spot?
Devin Singletary.
Devin
Oh,
Singletary.
stop, dude. Honestly, if I'm any of these 3 guys, I'm calling Houston.
You're like, yo,
What's the most you'll pay me? Cause I'm here.
Like,
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, dude?
Yeah.
I think that both. I think
Oh
those
my
are the
God.
two teams that are like going to be the hot commodities. The Chargers with Harbaugh
Chargers are
coming
decent
back.
too, man. Yeah.
Because like I think Harbaugh does have a pedigree that people like respect.
Yeah. And it's
Um,
LA. It's
yeah.
LA.
And I mean,
And
like,
honestly,
no
too, I
one's
think a
ever
big
really questioned
one. I think a big one we're forgetting about is Derrick Henry too.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say Tennessee for Josh Jacobs.
That's what I was gonna say as a Henry replacement if they move on.
Yeah.
Okay. Start bench cut.
I'm starting Saquon.
I'm also starting Saquon.
Like that, no, that's not a question.
Yeah. I'll
But the
start
next
Saquon
one,
as well.
The next one,
Depends.
because one of them had a really bad year last, or well, not bad, but
Depends.
not nearly as much. As we were expecting.
We're benching them here, so they're my RB2, correct?
They are your RB.
Tony Pollard.
Yes.
If
I'm
I
actually
have
gonna
to-
go.
if
I'm
I
going
have to
Josh
s-
Jacobs.
If
I'm
I
going
y'all
Josh.
didn't make this easy.
if I have to start them, I'm taking Josh Jacobs. But if you're talking about actual,
You do have
putting
to
him
start him. You start him in his RB2 spot. You do
exactly.
have to
I'm
start
putting him on my bench, and he coming in on third down when Saquon.
Technically, if you're putting it that way, you're starting two of them and benching one of them. So
you're starting one, you're benching the other, and you're sending the other home.
well, I'm just saying your logic right
Yeah.
now is that you're starting two in a fantasy lineup.
Oh, I'm thinking like actual football, like my second running back on my roster to come in on
Bouncing
third
off
down.
of Saquon. Yeah, that would make more sense. We've already seen Tony Pollard.
Yeah, because he's ass as a number one. He was actually decent after week 12 last year, but they were running him inside, so
Yeah.
it's hard to judge.
No, I'm starting Saquon. I'm benching Josh Jacobs, and then I'm gonna cut Tony Pollard.
I was gonna say I'm also
Jacobs
gonna,
and Pollard are like the same.
I'm
They're
gonna-
like
I'm
the
gonna do
same
that
player on
Danny
different
did,
sides of the
because
coin.
I personally, I was low on Jacobs, and he's done nothing but impress me for the most part. For what he's done more than
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna do, having watched him in Alabama.
He also had a really bad
Mhm.
start to this year, though.
correct.
Yeah.
But I think he's already overachieved what most people
Yeah,
kind of
Projected
pegged
of him,
as.
yeah.
Whereas Tony Pollard had so much expectations this year and just did not live up to that hype.
Yeah,
And
but
that's
again,
disappointing.
I feel like some of it was the play calling. Like again,
Agreed. Yeah,
running
you
him up
can't.
on a halfback dive. You're
100%. The
asking
same
for-
shit you saw with like Bijan and some of those other guys that are
Yeah.
just explosive playmakers. You can't run them up the middle.
Nothing made me sadder than watching a Gibbs carry up the middle for
Gibbs is
minus
no-
3
Gibbs is
yards.
another one. Yep.
They run outside, dude gets 35, and it's like up the middle for -5. I'm like, come on, man.
Like I said, you have to keep
Yeah.
it balanced, but like fuck it, it's working. Yeah, I'm with you, Danny. I'm gonna bench Jacobs, but
Yeah.
really, I feel like those two are fairly
They're
interchangeable.
literally the same. One's just a receiving version, one's the running version.
Mhm.
The same player.
Sliding over to the Cincinnati Bengals, I think a team that has a lot of question marks hanging over their heads going into this year, health wise mainly. They kind of answered one of them here. T. Higgins tagged by the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
Do we kind of expect him to sign that? I would think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 21 and
I
a half million. I think
I
he's
would
gonna
Yeah, I
sign
think
him.
the first tag is the one like everyone's like, yeah, they'll probably sign it. The second one where like the team's more hesitant to do it, right? It's
Yeah, because it looks fucking bad. Just fucking sign him.
yeah, it's just like you're gonna tag him for a $28 million a year contract. Like, I don't know. I feel like
I'm kind of sad.
I kind of wanted him
I
to
wanted him
be
to
a one.
test the market.
Yeah,
I wanted him. I kind of wanted him to go to KC.
Oof.
She Rice and T. Higgins.
I'm
We
a-
always. I feel like we do this every time.
yeah.
Just what's the best receiver available, and now that Tyreek
Panthers
Hill's
thought
gone,
about
just
them
put
to
him on
go.
the Chiefs. I hate
I feel like
watching the Chiefs win, but
the
love
Panthers
watching
would've
building
thrown a
fantasy teams for the Chiefs.
Bag at him.
The Panthers.
The Panthers would have
Oh,
thrown
God, yeah.
everything at him.
Oh, that would have been really good too. God, there was a. I think I was watching. Or no, Danny, that was a clip. What's that podcast? The other guys that when we first started, what was their name again?
Oh, the pick aside.
Hickaside. They did one where they went through like the 10 worst receivers, and 2 of them were on the Panthers.
Was it Mingo?
It was
Oh,
Mingo. And
Mingo.
Chark.
Yeah.
And then there was 3 pass catchers in New England, which was comical.
That's another
But yeah,
spot.
the Panthers, they definitely would have thrown.
But
a
I also
fucking
think no receivers like, damn, I want to go play with Mac
bag.
Jones.
Nobody wants to play Mac Jones. They'll want to play with whoever they get now, Drake May or Jaden Daniels. But yeah, interesting. I think it's interesting. I think it's a good move for the Bengals, though. I think they are still in obviously Joe Burr's contract rookie window, so they still have another chance. Is it this year's year 4? Because he played. Oh fuck! It's year 5. You're right. I forget his whole rookie. His first year, He got hurt.
Yeah.
Second year, Super Bowl. Third year was last year. This is year 4.
Mhm.
Damn, that extension might be kicking in. Either way, they're there. They're still there. I think if he stays healthy, they're a good team, and I like the move. I think
You
it's a
are
good
actually no, you are correct. This year's base salary is 10 million.
Next year it is, right?
Next year's jumps up to the 25, 25, and then
Yeah,
27,
let's
35,
go.
and then
I was
48.
kind of just basing it off of
Jesus
Josh Allen's
Christ.
timeline in my head,
Yeah.
and how Josh is kicking into like 40 something mil this upcoming year.
Yeah.
Brock's making 500K,
Yeah, well,
like
also can't
700K
win a
or
Super
something.
Bowl. Sorry.
We got to make it back again.
Good luck.
Oh yeah.
Dion Dawkins, speaking of the
That
Buffalo
shit
Bills, that shit had me dying.
Then the titties were just flopping about.
Quite comical. I'm just curious because it was pretty laughable. Love Dion Dawkins as a player. I love him as a person too. I feel like
He's a little head ass, but
he is a little head ass. It was comical the fact that he's taking jabs at other people and talking about they're just clout chasing and they don't play the game because they love it, and
yes, he's shirtless on a podcast.
as he's shirtless on a podcast. And we know, and if you know Dion Dawkins,
Yeah,
he'd be
checks
walking into games shirtless.
Yeah, it checks out.
Like, yeah, he'll play a fucking game shirtless if he could. But I'm just curious. There was jabs at the Jets and some other players. I'm excited for those 2 games, dude. Those games, if Aaron's ready, those games are gonna be wow.
I mean, to me too, it's just like at some point you just gotta shut the fuck up.
You ain't won nothing. You know what I'm saying? I love Buffalo. I love the Bills.
Like,
I love Josh Allen.
It
But
was
you
the
keep losing, bro.
because he even went in that press conference and was like, Patrick Mahomes has not played here. He played here in the COVID year, which it wasn't the same, and he came in, fucking sent y'all home.
To be fair, they did stay. The defense played well. It just when it mattered most, the usual. They played okay. Well is the stretch. They played okay. Pat didn't have a crazy game. So
well, Pat didn't need to because Pacheco had a crazy game.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever, dude. Fuck that game. Yeah, interesting. I'm with you though, Denny. That you haven't you haven't won anything yet. You keep losing the same guy. I do commend him for not really caring because I feel like he knows that. And he just doesn't give a shit, which is also part of the charm
of a player.
Buffalo.
Hell of a player.
Yeah, but definitely still, on some shit like that.
Shut the fuck up. You haven't done nothing. Like,
oh my god.
Granted, I'm in no position to say it, but as a fan, shut the fuck up. You haven't done nothing.
Danny, what did you think about the Fields thing when he was on the St. Brown Brothers podcast?
Oh, I saw some of the clips that like he was just talking about like, I just like I liked it to where it's like, oh, if you're messing with a girl, you don't necessarily follow her, but like you still messing with her type of thing.
Yeah. EQ, he was all over that. He's like, oh, I got you.
Yeah. I don't know what to make of it. I just don't think we know. But I think
nobody knows.
I just think at this point though, at this point to me, it just seems like we're taking Caleb. I just don't I just don't see our team in a position to where we can confidently say we're going to pay Justin Fields $40 million and then everything else will take care of itself. This team is still rounding into form at that point. So that's why I'm just thinking that I just don't see them not trading him.
It feels too like a rift in the relationship has already kind of been created.
I don't care
regardless
what Ryan
of the
Poles
fact he
says.
Yeah, they both. Justin says he would like to stay. Poles is saying there's nothing wrong, but like
DJ Moore's saying I've already said I want him to stay.
Right. But like none of y'all the only one that really has a choice is Ryan Poles.
Yeah.
Like Fields can't do nothing.
Yeah, and I think it comes down to I think more the money thing than it comes down to anything else. I think if you're getting both players at the same cost at where they're at right now, you're taking Fields.
Right.
But fact is, you're not getting Fields at the same cost you're getting Caleb. So Caleb's going to be pricey as a number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
And he's probably going to negotiate some.
Bro, I'll tell you right now, I think he sits out like training camp type shit.
Caleb?
Yeah. Like asking for some stupid contract or just not play.
I can see it.
Just asking for some stupid contract.
Like I'm talking like
Like not rookie numbers, bro.
Yeah.
It just has prima donna to me written all over it the way it's going so far.
I want Justin
But
so
I
bad.
saw Jay Glazer was talking about like if you want to go to like a city, like really you want to go to Washington or like,
You don't want to fucking go to
Arizona.
Washington. You don't want to go
Like,
to Washington or New England. Come on, what are we doing?
No, but that's what, and especially market wise with what this guy is
Dumpster
quote unquote
fires right
really
now.
trying to accomplish. Why would you want to go to cities like that, whereas you can make yourself, and I'm just going to say this word loosely, a legend in Chicago if you actually are who we think you
Hey,
can
bro,
be.
bring a
Yeah.
bowl. That is a legend.
Bro,
Let's be honest.
if you're a great quarterback, you will be a legend in Chicago. You don't got to win that.
Bro, you just gotta throw for
You just
4,000
gotta-
yards.
Yeah.
You just got to ball out at that
4,030,
point.
and you're the best thing that's ever happened to the franchise.
Literally.
That's you know what I'm saying. It's just like
The
it's just
standards are
it's just
so
weird.
low. The expectations are high, but the standards
Yeah.
are so low.
I mean, honestly, we can say. I mean, I don't have a problem saying it. Jay Cutler is probably best quarterback in Bears history, in my opinion, talent wise.
I like Justin.
I do, but I'm just saying, talent wise, Jay Cutler's been the best quarterback we've ever had.
Yeah.
And it's sad to say.
Like,
Fuck it. Keep Justin. Keep him. Fuck it.
I'm with you. I hope we do, but I
Like,
understand.
keep them both and have a
I
competition.
completely understand. the whole-
Yeah, no, the money's gonna be the decider as long as Caleb don't do no. crazy.
Motherfuckers is losing sleep every night over this, though. It's so funny. I also
I
really
don't
just
know.
want Marvin Harrison. I would love an MHJ jersey.
Honestly, dude, I want.
That Cardinals jersey though.
Or fucking, what's his face? From the Notre Dame,
Joe-
O lineman,
Joe Alt.
Alt. Dude's like 6'9",
Dog.
350.
Yeah, and
Oh my god,
Wait.
he's
Dog.
fucking huge.
Dog.
He is
Yeah,
insane.
Rent's gonna jump
He was
dog
supposed.
a
He was
little bit.
projected like 8 or 9 at the start, and now he's like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
He's going like either, probably 5, I think.
Well, I mean, I think
Because I think it's the 3 QBs, MHJ, and then Joe Alt.
yeah. It just depends on if a third, fourth team decides to go nuts and reach for a quarterback or something.
Stop.
You'd be surprised, man.
Yeah, I would be surprised, but
Like apparently, was it the Commanders are doing everything they can to get to trade up to number 1?
but like
I seen some trades. It was where they would give us De'Aaron Payne. They would give us
Deron Payne.
I'm sorry. Deron Payne, Scary Terry, a first and second this year, first and second next year, and then maybe like a third, I think, for this draft as well. It was something crazy. Like we'd get like 5 or 6 picks from them, and then their first and second for this year and next year.
Yeah, the picks
for
is
him
cool,
and-
but
Yeah,
and
Yeah,
the two
and their
best
number
players.
1 receiver and their number 1 tackle.
But the thing is, too, is that Scary Terry could be a trade candidate because he is about to hit 30.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's 29 right now. I think he'll hit 30 by the time the
20 I think he
season
was
starts.
Oh my
drafted in
God.
he was drafted in 2014 or 15.
Yes. So
I
he's
feel
hitting.
like I feel like he broke
hitting
out
that
like 3
age.
years ago.
He's hitting that age of where, like, okay, new ownership comes in. Do we really want to pay him
Yeah.
15-20 million dollars a year when we can just slowly rebuild this thing?
And they're gonna
It's possible.
they definitely need a receiver if they let him go because
Hey, Payne and Sweat back together again on that?
That'd
Huh.
be pretty crazy.
And then you
That
got,
trade- I mean, that
and then
trade,
you
that's
got,
gotta be like a
there's
fucking,
that's gotta
And
be
then you got
that's
DJ
gotta be
Moore.
diehard
That's a
Bears
pipe
fan
dream.
on Facebook.
that's a pipe.
And then-
It's gotta be
and then
diehard
you got
Bears
DJ
fan on
Moore.
Facebook.
Then you got Scary Terry. Then you got Marvin Harrison Jr.
diehard Bears fan 1985. That's his game. That's the handle.
Lord have mercy.
That'd be dynamite, dude. I mean, I'm cool just getting a few more picks.
Honestly, I think it just sucks because like I don't know, dude. It's tough. It's tough. I'd rather keep Justin and then just rebuild everything because we're not paying anybody insane money right now. So I feel like we'll still have space.
It'd be nice to not pay anybody insane money.
You wait, boy. You think you're paying insane money now?
Yeah,
Just you
CMC,
wait.
Debo, Bosa, Trent.
Hey, y'all getting rid of Debo.
Red.
Y'all get rid of Debo.
Ayuk's gonna get another. Yeesh.
We'll see, man. We'll see. I'm hoping it all works out though.
All right, MLB talk.
No, I just want to interrupt this podcast and say the Bulls are 2 of 23 from 3.
Bro, did Kobe make the 2?
No, he's 0 for 3.
Kobe only
One-
took 3.
One's from Dalen Terry.
Yeah.
And the other was from Vooch.
How is he only taking 3?
Vooch has 25 right now, I think.
Yeah,
He
he's
always
12
does
and-
good in
12 and
our
19.
losses.
DeMar's 8 of 13. It's just that Kobe, Caruso, and I are combined 7 of 31.
Oh Jesus! Why is Kobe taking so many middies and
He's
layups?
2 for 10.
Why?
Don't know.
Probably
They
just
probably
one of
got-
those nights.
Hauser might be doing something over there.
Whatever. MLB talk. Anybody? You got something to say? Something to add?
Fuck the Dodgers.
I was just curious.
Dodgers.
Fuck the Dodgers.
Otani homered. Dude, I saw. You see that? Also, I can't wait to bet on Freddie Freeman. I cannot wait. I saw him go yard in one of his
No,
first.
Honestly,
spring
my
training.
my main thing, and I know this kind of been circulating a lot, is the jerseys, man. It's the
Yeah.
jerseys, the
Yo,
uniforms.
Okay, I got a little interesting tidbit. The front of the jerseys perfectly fine.
Yeah, they look.
The
fine.
back of the
The
jerseys.
button part looks a little like down. The button thing looks a little strange.
The
but-
patches are a little off.
But like,
when you look
they're
compared
not
to
even
last year's
patches. They're like
They're like
iron
yeah,
on. So like when you fucking iron the back of the cereal
they're
box
ironed
onto
on,
a
not
shirt,
sewed on,
the shirt.
sewn on.
Yeah.
The back though, I have a big problem.
It
with.
looks
That still
terrible.
looks like fucking. It looks like they
And-
highlighted it and went from 12 to 10 font.
And it's just weird to me because it feels like to me when Nike takes over something, they start out here. They start out so high. They give the fans what they
Last year
want.
was dynamite. The whole last 2 years, 2-3 years, the whole City Connect bullshit and all those jerseys.
And,
are
and
dynamite.
honestly, I can say Nike with the MLB for their jerseys have been more on point than Nike with the NBA jerseys and the City
I would
Connect
agree.
jerseys.
I would agree.
I think we can say that 100%. But you see slowly the quality of these jerseys go down.
That's
Well, yeah.
Nike's history, though, right?
Yeah, Nike did the same thing with Barcelona.
Nike's history.
Their jerseys have gone downhill
And-
to the point where they're considering leaving.
And I get it, and I get it too that it's more performance, more breathable and stuff like that. But at the same time, we're at a
Baseball
point.
players, they stand around for 2 hours.
But we're also at a point to where
Watch
like
yourself.
the stitching and all that on the MLB jersey can also you can have that and have it be breathable as well, because 9 times out of 10 these guys are wearing undershirts anyway, so the stitching is not going to bother them. But still, at the end of the day, why is the quality going from here when y'all first start all the way down to here? I get it, it's money, but still, like,
Cheaper product at the same price.
Yep, they get to sell it for the same price. They're new jerseys, so they're gonna drive sales, and they're
Yep.
making them for half the cost.
Literally, is that the history of Nike's entire foundation company built on? Yeah, it's fucking
Are we-
stupid.
oh,
I
are we
agree.
going? Where were we going there? I didn't know if we were going
That's where I was going.
there.
They used to make shit in the US and it used to be high
Yeah.
quality, and now it's all fucking terrible.
Yeah. It's crazy to me. And like looking at the differences and stuff like that, especially from last year, I was like, oh, didn't look too bad. Like the initial look.
At a glance, yeah.
Then you see like the
Because I remember
close-ups
seeing it
and-
too when they first announced it. I was like, oh, that's cool, whatever.
But then when you see the comparison, JP Crawford's looked
Don't-
like that was the most recent
Oh,
one.
God.
Horrible.
He had the one that really looked like an iron-on. Like,
Like
The whole thing.
horrible.
Literally the
Horrible.
whole thing.
the whole jersey. Those had-
Yeah, bro literally pulled that from like Little League.
Yeah, it really feels like he had lost his jersey. He had to grab his son's little league jersey.
That's too funny.
Hopefully they revert or they should just make some sort of change.
I think it's
they
a
can
big
implement it
thing.
fast enough.
I doubt it.
I think it's a big
Oh, is that
thing.
manufactured already?
Oh yeah.
I think it's a big thing though that actually like, I mean, I don't think anything's gonna really happen, but the fact that Rob Manfred has actually kind of spoke on it a little bit, maybe might get a little bit of a
Interesting.
push, and the fact that the MLB Players Association has also put a push on it, maybe something will happen. But like
It'd be
you
funny
said,
if
by
they
the
just,
time
like,
the season,
re-implement the old
But-
ones without even saying anything.
yeah. But the thing
Just
is,
bring
like you
back
said,
last season's
by the
jerseys.
time the season comes around, I don't think nothing's gonna happen. I really don't.
Kinda
I think
doesn't
it's
feel
too
like
late.
it. I think they have too many manufactured that they've already done. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Unless they just try it out for the spring training as like a test run, and they're like, "Oh, these are terrible," and then they just say, "Okay, cool. Here's the old ones."
And
nice.
honestly, with the MLB jerseys, I feel like as long as you got stitching, you're good. We like as fans, you want the font a little bit bigger. You want to be able
Yeah,
to
that's what it's supposed
see
to be.
that.
Yeah.
You want to be able to see that. You want it to feel like it's a damn like Mitchell and Ness jersey, like literally. But it's breathable. Who cares? Damn. But yeah, it was fucked up. To my
Mitchell and Ness.
Mitchell and Ness, yeah.
At a
Classic,
boy.
Wait,
baby.
was that the one you got?
Yes, then
Yeah.
Steve Nash.
That's kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie.
Man. But yeah, that's all I got. That's all I had though for MLB. I'm excited though. It's a new season. Hit up a couple of games. You know, fortunately, it's
gonna
gonna be a
say,
little
Been a
2
lot of this in
hours.
spring training.
But
The freaking Sox got the Tigers opening weekend.
oh, that's gonna be an exciting series.
Hey, you watch your mouth.
It's gonna be a great series to start the season.
I wonder what our line is. Oh, I wonder what our line is on wins. Hey, whoa,
I
whoa,
think
whoa,
it
wait. Pop
this
that right
one-
there. Pop that
This
right
one,
there.
this one page that I followed got us at 61 and 101.
Oh my God. We're not that bad.
Yeah, got us at 61.
I was gonna say like 78.
Could be.
Oh, you just passed it. Oh, down. Unless that was Cubs.
There it is. 63 and a half.
Over.
Over?
Almost plus money.
Over.
It's almost
Oh,
plus money.
Danny, we can get 64 wins in that hit.
Just in the division?
Where are we at?
63 and a half.
81 and a half.
Dude, we're not that bad.
Where are the A's at? 56 and a half.
Are we? What are the Red Sox at?
They were up. 79 and a half. Plus money.
Yeah, I would have to say I'd take the under.
Yeah.
That division is a gauntlet.
Braves 101 and a half.
Over.
I'm going to go find the Dodgers. The Cubs are at 84 and a half.
Dodgers, I think, are 105 and a half.
84 and a half is a good. That's.
I want to say that they're at 105 and a half.
We should keep that. We should do a segment on
The
that. next week.
Padres and the Giants have the same win total. Over under.
Over on the.
We
Padres.
are
Maybe not.
plus
though.
money though.
Maybe not.
What are the Dodgers?
Oh, I missed. I can't find them.
Oh,
There they are. 103 and a half.
103 and a half.
Hmm. Are these parlayable?
No way.
Yeah.
How do you think you are? Separate leagues,
DraftKings would
Yeah.
never.
over wins, championship futures
Yeah.
type shit.
We'll have to make honestly, we'll probably have to make a little
We should.
look into it for next week. We'll do a
Over under.
like a award winner type thing. So like like for me, I think Juan Soto's gonna have the most home runs in the MLB this year.
Oh, playing. Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if Judge is healthy, he will.
Lefty pulling that shit.
Although
I don't
supposedly
know.
he's actually dealing with problems with that toe. Like they're monitoring it. Day
And
to
then,
day. I think he'll sit a lot of games this year.
Like Pablo Lopez of the Twins,
Cy
I think he's
Young?
like plus 250, and he's like
most
for most
Ks.
strikeouts. Yeah, most strikeouts.
All I know is I'm taking Kyle Harrison's over.
They said like Bobby Witt Jr.'s hits is like
300.
plus 3 something or plus 4 something. So
We
little
could do
$10 holla can get us, little 400,000.
Stat leaders on the MLB.
Yeah.
Oh my
Stuff
god.
like that.
Interesting.
Shohei Ohtani was gonna Shohei Ohtani for like most RBIs.
RBIs, yep, for sure. Although I like Freddie still.
Yeah.
Although it depends on where Freddie's batting, if he's batting in front of or behind Ohtani. I think both are bad though. Because either way, there's going to be either one person on base only because you'll be batting second, or there'll be nobody on base because Ohtani's hitting 50 dingers.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, White Sox are going to suck. Giants are going to be mid again. That's kind of all we care about on the pod, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think that's all.
Yeah.
I think that's all we got. Dan.
I feel I'm just sad because my team just
You
stuck
guys
in
just
no
can't
man's
sign
land.
anybody.
Yeah.
I'm sad because we went through a rebuild and it was really good, and it just didn't pan out because just aren't good enough, man. They're just not good enough.
So
All right, Daniel, run this out, Daniel.
all right, y'all. That closes it out for us for episode number 75.
Yeah,
Thank you all again for tuning in. We will be hitting y'all back with the videos starting on Thursday. Again,
Thursday.
Speed loading. Nah, probably tomorrow. But yeah, thank you all again for tuning in. Thank you all for the support. We'll talk to you guys next week. 3 of us here. Enjoy the rest of the week. Enjoy the if you're from Chicago, enjoy the beautiful bipolar weather, of course.
Bro,
it was 70 today. It's gonna be 20 tomorrow.
Yep, and it's raining by me right now. So
sunny,
we had tornado
followed by a thunderstorm and a tornado at night.
Yep.
Well, it's going to be 20 and possible snow tomorrow.
Yeah, and by the time I get upstairs, it should probably be a clear night with that's a little windy.
Oh, beautiful night. That'll be a beautiful night.
And if not, in an hour, it'll be clear and nice. So.
Welcome to the Midwest.
Yep.
See what happens. But yeah, thank you all again, everybody. We will see you guys next week. Have a great rest of the week. Bye.
I love you, Josh.
Later.